Today on a hot Saturday afternoon, I have the pleasure of hosting Anuj Agrawal, who is the CEO and founder of Zyoin Group and also the man behind Workplace Awards. Hey Anuj, welcome to GCC Pulse. We are all a part of the GCC community, right?
Correct.
GCCs, the last couple of years have become the talk of the town across national and international media as well.
True.
And considering GCCs, trying to attract talent, who are pitted against traditional IT companies, new age, digital first startups. What are those top things that a GCC should invest in terms of creating that employee experience, employer branding, and then also get the right talent, retain them over a period of time.
And I think what is very interesting around the GCC space is because all of them are global companies. They've had a baseline setup for them. Some of them are Fortune 500, have very established practices. Some of them are still very global in nature and they have a lot of global practices which are in place. So I've seen all across the GCC world, there's one thing which stays very true and very good is compensations is taken as a standard, right? I mean, it's there. Not just compensation, the policy frameworks are quite global in nature, probably amazing perks, amazing benefits. Yet, I see the challenge of attrition. I think while policy and theory looks extremely good, there is a lot of action to be needed. I believe a lot of GCCs today who are successful are driven by the core fact that culture is not just owned by HR, but it's co-owned by everyone in the leadership. And that's something which I stand out with some of these GCCs. Due to 10% I'm talking of belongs to segment which is nano GCCs, like less than 50 people, and then there are 22,000 people company. So this is a wide bracket. So it is across spread very, very well in terms of the data point which we look at it. And I think culture co-owning is one of the core of it. I think the other practice which I've seen very common is a lot of these organizations, while they value business outcomes, they're also valuing employee experiences. That's one very common aspect of the GCCs which are very, very successful. GCCs who are able to retain high talent, retain and attract very good practices. And still the retention problem. So I think there is a lot of action which is done by some of these organizations. And if everybody also follows that step, I think this is an amazing place to work because they come with the opportunity of working on some really global challenges, real enterprise customers. The work which you will actually end up doing is going to impact globally, meet the best possible customers to work with. So I think work promise is amazing with all the GCCs, and it's just the action part of it which will define the whole real story. And I'm sure we are going to talk a lot more about different things, different aspects around it.
Yeah, great. So Anuj, I'm sure you speak to many GCC leaders day in, day out, right? You being at the heart of this ecosystem. So in your own experience of speaking to these folks, what do you think those top 2 or 3% GCCs are doing differently in terms of bringing in that additional value to employee experience or EVP, so to speak?
Sure. I would once say that I'm not wore their shoes, but I've listened to them. We have great data insights which we capture through our nomination process, and that gives us amazing insights. So the ones which are differentiator you talked about is one, people measuring employee experience and business outcomes together. Employee experience great, business outcome bad, not good. Business outcome great, employee experience bad, not good. Both matching business outcomes and this thing, and there are many who are doing that. And that's something which is creating one part of the difference. The second part of it, which is very important, is making sure who are the key people who impact the employee experience. People who are actually taking managers, leaders as the key levers, and they are the ones who are ensuring the experience. So evaluating their performance on not just their work or business outcome, but also look at their employee experience, making sure so they become the lever. You actually work with the managers to drive great employee experience. That's the second part of it. The third part is making sure because there are so many layers. I mean, if you look at the global stakeholders, local stakeholders, you are probably not going to get recognized for your work. So making sure that internal recognition is very seamless is something some of these organizations have done extremely well. There are companies, when I was talking about employee experience, they measure employee experience twice, thrice, even 4 times a year. They are using now AI tools, variety of AI tools, to just figure out predictively what is the sentiment going, is it going downwards, is it going upwards, and keep validating this information and again.
Great. So on that note, Anuj, see, if there were to be 1 or 2 pieces of advice that you would want to give to GCC leaders from an employee well-being or an employee EVP standpoint, what would those 2 or 3 pieces points be?
I'll not necessarily go to that layer at depth, but I would say very realistic. I've observed patterns. One, people who have been loving their data and be passionate about making those right decisions. Data is not enough. Data leads to decision. Decision leads to action. So people who look at the data, take decisions, and do implement actions, I think those are amazingly well to do. Be it flexibility, be it inclusivity, be it diversity, be it having empathy. I think these are traits which are built, you train, you continuously build on it. But to keep observing that data of the employee experience and making that happen, I think this is one of the most important. One very alternative fact which we have seen, and I think I would like to highlight based on the kind of research, and probably not necessarily aligned to the question which you asked, is that we've seen lower attrition where there are more global roles.
Interesting.
And that's a very interesting data point which you get. And I think probably the correlation could be that empowerment, the ownership factor, the organizations which are having more empowerment, more ownership, more chance of being able to take decisions as a decision action, and then have the drive for it. Otherwise, what happens for GCC, and a typical problem across GCCs has been local talent managing global stakeholder, local talent managing local stakeholders. You're confused, you get frustrated, and you see extremely high attrition. Those who are not able to manage this have very high attrition, 30% plus attrition. Those who are not able to, who are able to manage this, have less than 5% attrition. So I think if you are a GCC leader, I would advise you to bring as much global empowerment as possible. I think that's truly a defining factor, because I think this is a natural friction which will bound to happen when you manage multiple stakeholders, when you don't have empowerment, when you don't have decision making. I think those will be the defining factor. I'm sure systems and processes are right across GCCs.
Great. So talking about global, you are hosting the 3rd edition of the Workplace Awards in Bengaluru end of July.
Yes.
A lot of global companies are attending this event. Tell me more about what made you create this forum or a platform like Workplace Awards. I believe it's a first of its kind, where people come and celebrate workplace excellence, right? So tell me more about Workplace Awards. What do you really do through this forum over a period of 2 days?
Sure. I think in general, as Zyoin Group is in talent space, we deal with so many customers across. And when you deal with them, a lot of customers always seek insights.
Yeah.
Insights in which they can help take decisions like, hey, what are the compensations going on? Hey, what are the kind of policies which we should be having, which our competitors are having, and so on. We said, hey, look, we can gather this information, but let this information flow. That's one of the core aspiration we thought. But then if this information flows, how do we say that this is a good information or a bad information? And we said, I think India is missing this piece of recognition. We have certifications, we have systems, but there are no clear-cut recognizing who are the top workplaces I can vouch for, and how can we bring a very transparent, honest system around it. So we said, hey, we need to build a system which recognizes the best place, and that becomes the benchmark for everyone to follow. But this is not just going to be enough, right? And that's where the curiosity rose, and our Workplace Award platform became. And we said, while we want to be organization agnostic, let's look at the space of GCCs. GCCs, because there's so many variety, those who were coming from 1985 world, and then there are so many who are newly setting. So there was so much interlearning which can happen, and how do we enable that? So we thought, let's bring event and recognition together, and that's where workplace awards happen. I think we've become the largest and the most prestigious ecosystem around events and recognition in the GCC space. We've had over 1,000 GCCs engaging with us through this ecosystem, and we're proud of what we could achieve in 3 years. We run on 4 key pillars.
Sure.
We call it RICA: recognition, inspiration, connection, association. Recognizing the best workplaces, having systems, processes, thorough understanding, thorough knowledge, deep research base, deciding who are really the top-notch organizations so that they become the benchmark. There are 1,000, 2,000 GCCs. They should become the benchmark. The second is inspiration, because recognition is fine, but how do we do it? Who are the leaders? What are those leaders doing? That's where the inspiration comes in, and that's where future of work comes in, and we want people to get inspired, and that's where the thought leadership is. So inspiration is that. Connection, we believe engaging with peers, networking, talking to them, learning from each other is very, very important. That's where the connection piece comes in. And we then realize that, hey, while all of this is very internal, there's a part which is called external. And I think external support is always needed. And that's where the association piece comes for us. We want to bring enablers who help in this transformational journey of workplaces. And so I'll tell you, this year when we structured the event, we divided into 2 parts of it. The first day, we believe innovation is internal, external. The first day, external. So let's talk about collaboration. So the first day theme is all about collaboration. How do you collaborate with government? How do you collaborate with financial institutions? How do you collaborate with digital transformation partners? How do you collaborate with startups? It's gonna be the day filled with that collaboration piece, because it's all about learning and taking help from what is the ecosystem providing.
Sure.
Second day is about vision and execution. So you execute. How do you execute? What are the challenges? How do you action it? And then how do you visualize? How do you 2030 looks like? We'll have all throughout leaders speaking, having conversations over roundtables, over panels, over fireside chats, over keynotes. And we hope to cross more than 200 speakers in the event. And the recognition, so we cover our wide area. Obviously, organizations are covered, but we also believe individual excellence brings organization excellence. So we recognize individuals. Net, we'll have about 160 recognitions in the 2 days time frame. So yeah, it's a filled day, and we're glad to have GCC Pulse as a partner, and really grateful you guys have been doing top-notch content in the GCC space. So always take pride in having you guys as a partner in the ecosystem, and let's see we can bring some really fruitful outcome from the events, a lot of learnings and a lot of takeaways.
Great. So Anuj, on that note, thank you. And that's what the GCC world needs today. Better talent, better awareness, more branding, and as I said, forums like these really bring that out. And yeah, I mean, Anuj, thank you, for joining us today. And would love perhaps to, have some closing words from you.
Sure, absolutely. I think you rightly said that GCCs today need the brand. I mean, look at the amount of employment, white collar employment, 2.3 million people being employed, 100 billion, close to $100 billion of revenue being contributed, almost 2% of the GDP. So, which means extremely important that everybody gets to know about it. And you're right that the platforms like GCC Pulse and so many others, and government institutions, NASSCOM, government bodies like KDEM and all that. I mean, there is extreme effort going on, and I think the word needs to spread a lot more, and it is going to definitely create the right pulse. I really aspire that Dr. Nirmala Sitharaman said $200 billion economy coming from the GCC, and really happens, and it can only happen when the right awareness, right things get into place, probably the infrastructure as well. But yeah, looks like it's a possibility if the awareness is there. Yes, thank you so much.
Great.
Really
Thank
good
you,
to have you here.
Likewise. Thank you.